Years ago.
It is.
Back in the late 90s.
We're in record now, so whenever you want to start.
Okay.
Hi, Di, Sonia. Can you
Hi.
tell us how you two first met?
Yes, so it was back in 1996. We met at the Sunderland Empire in a show called Peter Pan, and I was one of the Indian dancers, and Di was
Mrs. Darling and Tiger Lily, which is it's a lovely double part to play actually, because Tiger Lily is all like dancing big and loud and proud and strong, and Mrs. Darling's terribly. And yeah, and all the way through the show, I kept company in my dressing room by Sonia.
Very good.
By Sonia's brother and by Sonia's mum.
Yeah.
So it was a whole family affair.
It was. We were all in there, yeah.
So that's how you first met, but what was your first creative project together?
So that was approximately 5 years ago. We worked in a creative team for a show called The World of Musicals. Eventually it toured Europe, starting in Germany, and we were back 6 months later putting the show together to send it to tour China. Yeah, that was our first one as a director and choreographer.
Yeah. And do you have a style as a creative duo?
Yeah, it's like I always think like it's bringing a jigsaw puzzle together. You've kind of got pieces, you know how you want to bring them together, but the pieces haven't got any pictures on yet either. Mm-hmm. They're just blank.
Okay.
And it's as they come together you can actually start formulating shapes and pictures on them.
Right.
But things have got to kind of fit. You do this big kind of grid thing, don't you? Because you do all the tech side.
Yeah, we start off with a graph when we're doing the set list. Then we establish where choreography belongs, and then that's when Diane starts to put together some pretty shapes. And the beauty of how we work together is I designed screens that'll be projected onto the onstage screen to accompany the scenes and songs within the show. And particularly we had a shot where I think you had one of the dancers doing quite a nice leap, and I'd put on the screen a lady up in a mountain and she lets go of a bird, and it happens simultaneously. Wow. So it was quite beautiful to watch.
So it's like the perfect partnership. Both bring something very different to it.
Yeah. I think I've always had this kind of what I call an internal visual mind. When I hear music, I just literally as a child would I'd hear music and just see whole ballets being choreographed and different characters. So it's like storytell on the human body. And of course what's great with working with a creative like Son is that, she does storytell from stories, from characters, but always loves the element of dance and of music, and to make it that real three-dimensional. And there's not a great deal of good new musical theatre actually being made, particularly after the Lloyd Webber and the old greats of yesteryear. They're still producing, but the sort of fresh blood really what we're doing.
Yeah.
What did you go on to do next?
Awesome. On the back of World of Musicals, I was asked to write and direct a brand new show called Tina the Rock Legend.
Wow. Based
on the life of the great Tina Turner. And because I'd had such an amazing time working with Diane, she was the first name that popped to mind, and I excitedly picked up the phone like, oh my God, Di, how would you feel about being the choreographer on this beast of a project?
So you always think of each other when you've got projects going on, because you know that it works when you work together.
I was driving up over Saddleworth Moors because I like doing a lot of walking. I actually parked my car over in some random village on the top of these moors going, Tina Turner, are you quite sure? And in my heart I just thought, I've got to do this. This is a biggie. Yeah. And it did really well, didn't it?
Really well. It toured Europe for 3 or 4 years running, I think it is now, and we established the groundwork, literally built it up from very brief foundations. I think we were given a sentence initially.
Tell us what's involved in the creative process.
Well, for that one, we got to tell Tina's story for the first half of the show, and the second half was a rock concert, so her greatest hits in the style of a concert.
Was anybody else involved?
Oh, we were blessed to have the most amazing performers. Test Dynamite Tina. Our Tina's just a phenomenal American. She's Thai, American, German, and just the most huge voice. a Tina voice. I mean, not many voices are born like that on the planet, and she absolutely loved and embraced every element of becoming Tina, living her story, and of course being able to perform all her amazing songs.
Yeah, one
the
of the
backing
best
singers, and also the live musos. In fact, our saxophonist had worked with Tina as well when she was still performing on the big stages.
Yeah.
Well, you've obviously had a lot of fun making that. Have you got any projects in the pipeline that you plan on going to do?
Over to you.
So musical theatre wise, I've been working on a project for, I'm going to say, over a decade.
Okay.
It's a long time coming, and it's called Ancient Dreams.
Wow.
And it's the life story of the ancient Queen Nefertiti and her husband King Akhenaten. And it's it's a simple love story with a very, very positive message. That's all I'll say at the moment. But
a love story. We love a love story.
we do, don't we?
We all love a love story.
Yeah, but it's set in the modern
Mysterious
day,
as
isn't it? And then we flash back to 3,000 years ago.
Wow.
And it's
No one knows what actually happened to Nefertiti.
it's true.
And this is the big mystery. And I'm a real history buffin. I love ancient history. And there are certain characters in history and in time that just leave so many questions, more than they could ever answer. But also this couple were the first to kind of bring monotheism rather than there were so many gods and so many beliefs around religion at the time. They were the first that said, actually, without the sun, there could only be one God. Without the sun in this one. And it just didn't work. Actually completely fell apart.
Yeah.
But they were really ahead of their time. I'm very good at self-publicity. You know, all the hieroglyphs you see around in Egypt, you might as well just have like hello and OK magazine plastered everywhere, because that's what they did.
But that's what you did, Sonia, wasn't it, when you created your restaurant? You used all that as an inspiration.
Yes, I have a little restaurant in the heart of Sunderland City Centre. And it's Egyptian theme, authentic as well. Everything from the furniture, statues that came directly from Cairo, to the menu, to the chefs. And so far so good.
Yeah.
We're doing very well. We've got a great reputation. And someone said recently, it's like stepping into a museum that serves food.
It's very
and I
true.
took that as a
But
compliment.
literally, pardon the pun, she lives it, sleeps it and eats it. Definitely. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing that with us today.
No problem.
Diane and Sonia.
Thank you.
I don't know if I was supposed to end on something.